You went viral last night for saying Trump is not on the Epstein list, and you would know. You said, I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. I mean, they tried to kill him. They tried to imprison him for hundreds of years behind bars. Clearly, if he was on the Epstein list, you would have known, and that certainly would have been the Democrats' silver bullet.
Absolutely right. And not only would I have known, but I think the point you're making that I tried to make in that tweet is I asked him at a time in which it would have been in his best interest to have implicated anyone, but especially someone as high profile as President Trump. It was important to Jeffrey Epstein to make clear to me that he did not have any bad information about President Trump. He didn't like people being falsely accused of having been associated with him in some illegal way. What's important to remember is this: when Mr. Musk talks about the files, we don't know what's in those files. But there were books that Jeffrey Epstein kept, address books and so on, of a lot of famous people who did absolutely nothing wrong with him. When I met Epstein several months before he died, he asked me to take over all of his litigation. He had some fine lawyers, but he, quite frankly, he said to me that, which I considered a badge of honor, I was the only person in the world he trusted with his life. He said, when he hired me the 9 days before. But he asked me to come to his house, first time I met him in person, several months before he was arrested. And at that meeting, he made clear that he didn't want anyone else to be implicated with him, but he knew a lot of famous people. At that meeting, he introduced me to a former prime minister who was visiting him, showed me a picture of Bill Gates and a dollar bill in it. And I asked him what that was all about. He said, well, he made a bet with Bill Gates. And what could he bet Bill Gates? So he bet him $1. The point is, he had a lot of famous friends who loved being around him, who did nothing wrong, many of them. And the fact that someone's name might appear just isn't indicative of the idea that they did something wrong. But what I know about President Trump is he absolutely did not do anything wrong with Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein confided in me about a lot of issues. One last point. A number of people wrote back to the Twitter tweet, whatever you call it, that I've broken attorney-client privilege. I have never broken attorney-client privilege, never would, and never will. This is something that Jeffrey Epstein wanted to make clear.
You know, also what's clear is that President Trump, he had a disdain for Jeffrey Epstein. He was one of the first people to ever publicly, he banned him from Mar-a-Lago when those accusations. So, and also, President Trump also on a personal level. I know people that know him. This is the lowest of the low accusation. You could say a lot of things about President Trump, but when it comes to this kind of like sex abuser accusation, I mean, this is as low and as vile as it gets. Why do you think Elon Musk did this?
I think for the reasons you said. Your presentation was absolutely awesome. I think it's like you say, when someone lashes out, they try to hit as hard and as low as they can often in this kind of exchange. Why did he make the comment yesterday that President Trump should be impeached? These are outrageous comments, but, he's angry. They had a falling out. He lost a lot of money yesterday. It's just not fair, though, and especially when you're dealing with the President of the United States. It's demeaning internationally and so on. And that's why I felt it was important for me to speak out on a subject at least I know something about.
Are you getting blowback because you are defending President Trump? At the end of the day, I don't think you're just defending the truth here.
I get blowback from having been associated with Jeffrey Epstein as the person he tried to hire as his lawyer. I get blowback from all of these issues. I got blowback on the other side, too. In my civil rights cases, I get it. So a lawyer, I think, can't worry about that kind of thing. It's unfortunate that people have nothing else to do but to write things, mean, hateful, threatening things on subjects they know nothing about.
David Schoen, thank you so much. And keep up being brave and telling the truth, right? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Keep up what you're doing.
Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.